What you are about to hear is not just a story about an ancient book. It is the story of one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in human history. A mystery that has challenged historians, linguists, cryptographers, mathematicians, and even modern artificial intelligence. A mystery hidden, not beneath the sands of Egypt, not inside a forgotten temple, not at the bottom of the ocean, but within the pages of a single manuscript. A book that appears to be written in a language that no one can read, a language that no one can identify, a language that has remained undeciphered for centuries. Its pages are filled with strange symbols, impossible plants, mysterious diagrams, and illustrations that seem to belong to a world somewhere between science, fantasy, and dreams. This is the mystery of the Voynich Manuscript, a book so enigmatic that more than 100 years of investigation have failed to reveal its true meaning. And even today, it continues to guard its secrets. To understand why the Voynich Manuscript fascinates the world, we must travel back to the early 20th century. The year was 1912. A rare book dealer named Wilfrid Voynich acquired an unusual manuscript from a collection of ancient texts in Italy. At first glance, it seemed like just another medieval manuscript. Old parchment, handwritten pages, detailed illustrations, nothing particularly unusual. But as Voynich examined it more closely, he realized something was wrong. Or perhaps something was extraordinary. The text covering the pages did not resemble any known language. The symbols were unfamiliar, yet they appeared deliberate, organized, structured. The writing flowed naturally across the pages, as if it carried meaning. It looked like a real language, but nobody could understand it. And that was only the beginning. As scholars turned the pages, they discovered illustrations unlike anything found in other medieval books. The first section appeared to focus on plants. Page after page contained botanical drawings, leaves, flowers, roots, stems. At first, researchers assumed these illustrations represented medicinal herbs. That would have been common for medieval manuscripts. But there was a problem. The plants could not be identified. Some resembled known species, others looked partially familiar. Yet none matched any real plant exactly. Each seemed to combine characteristics from multiple species, as if the artist had created entirely new forms of life, or perhaps recorded plants from a place unknown to history. The deeper researchers explored the manuscript, the stranger it became. Another section contained astronomical diagrams, circular charts, stars, moons, symbols arranged in complex patterns. Some pages appeared to represent constellations. Others looked like celestial maps. Yet once again, nothing aligned perfectly with known astronomical traditions. The diagrams felt meaningful, purposeful, but their meaning remained hidden. Then came the section that puzzled researchers more than any other. Pages filled with illustrations of women, dozens of them, sometimes standing in green pools, sometimes connected by elaborate networks of tubes, sometimes gathered around strange structures that resembled mechanical systems or biological organs. The images seemed symbolic, but symbolic of what? Medicine? Alchemy? Spiritual rituals? Ancient science? No one knew. Every interpretation generated new questions, and every theory seemed incomplete. Yet the greatest mystery remained the writing itself. Because despite its strange appearance, the text behaves remarkably like a real language. Researchers discovered repeating words, consistent grammatical patterns, statistical structures similar to natural human languages. Certain symbols appeared frequently, others appeared rarely.
some combinations followed predictable rules. The manuscript did not look random. In fact, it looked surprisingly intelligent, as though someone had carefully constructed every line with purpose. And that realization led to an unsettling possibility.
What if the manuscript truly contains meaningful information? What if the problem is not that the text is meaningless, but that we have not yet discovered how to read it? Over the decades, some of the world's greatest minds attempted to solve the puzzle. Cryptographers examined it. Linguists studied it. Historians searched for clues. And during the 20th century, even famous codebreakers became involved. These were individuals who had successfully cracked military ciphers, people who had deciphered encrypted wartime communications, experts trained to uncover hidden messages. Yet the Voynich Manuscript defeated them all. Every proposed solution eventually collapsed. Every translation contained contradictions. Every breakthrough turned out to be incomplete. The manuscript remained unreadable. And so, new theories emerged. Some researchers suggested that the manuscript was written in a lost language. Throughout history, countless languages have disappeared. Entire cultures have vanished. Perhaps the Voynich Manuscript represents the final surviving example of a language that no longer exists. A linguistic ghost from a forgotten civilization. Others proposed that it was written using an elaborate encryption system. Perhaps the author intentionally concealed the text. If so, the manuscript might contain secret scientific knowledge, religious teachings, medical formulas, political information, or something else entirely. But once again, evidence remained inconclusive. Then there was another possibility. Perhaps the manuscript was a hoax. Perhaps it was never intended to be read. Perhaps someone created an elaborate fake designed to impress wealthy collectors or powerful patrons. At first, this explanation seemed reasonable, but it created an even larger mystery. If the manuscript is a hoax, it is one of the most sophisticated hoaxes ever created. Hundreds of pages, thousands of carefully written symbols, complex linguistic patterns, detailed illustrations, and remarkable consistency throughout the entire document. Creating such a work would have required years of effort. Why would someone devote so much time to producing meaningless nonsense? And if it is nonsense, why does it display characteristics so similar to genuine language? The hoax theory answered one question while creating many more. Then, modern science entered the investigation. Researchers applied advanced statistical analysis, computational linguistics, pattern recognition systems, and eventually, artificial intelligence. Powerful algorithms examined the manuscript in ways impossible for previous generations. The hope was simple. If human minds could not solve the puzzle, perhaps machines could. Some studies suggested links to ancient languages. Others identified hidden structural patterns. Several teams announced possible breakthroughs, yet none achieved universal acceptance. Every solution faced criticism. Every interpretation encountered problems. The manuscript continued to resist explanation. Meanwhile, another important question remained. How old is it? For many years, scholars debated its age. Some suspected it might be a relatively modern forgery. Others believed it was genuinely medieval. Finally, scientific testing provided an answer. Radiocarbon analysis performed on the parchment revealed that the material dated to the early 15th century, approximately between 1404 and 1438. This was a crucial discovery. It confirmed that the manuscript is genuinely old, more than 600 years old. Not a modern invention, not a recent fraud. Someone truly created this document during the Middle Ages. Someone spent years writing its text, drawing its illustrations,
organizing its pages, and preserving whatever knowledge or mystery it contained. Imagine that person for a moment, sitting beneath candlelight, carefully dipping a quill into ink, writing symbol after symbol, page after page, knowing exactly what each word meant, understanding every sentence, possibly believing that future generations would one day read it. Yet centuries later, their message remains locked. The author is gone, the language is unknown, and the meaning has vanished into history. Today, the Voynich Manuscript is preserved at Yale University, protected behind glass, digitized for researchers around the world, studied by experts from countless disciplines. And still, its secrets remain intact.
Every year, new theories emerge. New analyses are published. New technologies are applied. Yet the central question never changes. What does the manuscript actually say? What knowledge lies hidden within its pages? Who created it? And why? Perhaps one day, someone will discover the missing key. A forgotten reference. A lost translation. A hidden pattern overlooked by generations of researchers. And when that day arrives, the manuscript may finally speak. Its 6 centuries of silence may finally end. Or perhaps, the Voynich Manuscript will remain exactly as it is today. A mystery. A puzzle. A message from the past that no one can understand. A reminder that even in an age of satellites, supercomputers, and artificial intelligence, there are still secrets that refuse to surrender. And somewhere within those strange symbols, those impossible plants, those mysterious diagrams, a voice from another century continues to wait. Patiently, silently. For someone to finally understand what it has been trying to say all along.